Welcome, curious minds. Today, our deep dive takes a darker, more unsettling turn. We're not just sifting through research or, parsing complex ideas. We're stepping into the shadows of 5 profoundly disturbing incidents, each one captured on camera, each leaving behind this trail of chilling questions and, frankly, a lingering sense of unease. This isn't just about recounting facts. It's really an exploration of moments where the ordinary twisted into something truly disturbing. It invites us to ponder the why and how of the unexplained, even when answers, they remain elusive.
And what's particularly striking about these types of events, I think, is how quickly life can change, or how the unexplained can simply manifest when a camera happens to be rolling. These snippets offer a really stark glimpse into the fragility of, our perceived reality and the unknown forces, whether human or something else, that can just disrupt it.
Okay, so we begin our journey into the unsettling on a quiet night, November 12, 2019. It was just after 11 p.m. in Jefferson Park. Picture the scene. Residents are suddenly jolted awake by a woman's terrified screams, just begging for help. Witnesses in this residential street saw a man forcefully dragging this woman by her hair, dragging her into the passenger seat of his car. But here's an eerie detail that genuinely sticks with you. Go on. The car's passenger side window was completely covered with plastic wrap. It obscured the woman's face. But despite this, her dark braided hair was clearly visible to those watching in, horror.
Plastic wrap, that's bizarrely specific, almost like a preparation.
Exactly. And if you listen closely to the recordings, you can still hear the spine-tingling sound, the woman's desperate cries of, "Somebody help me, help!" And then the man's immediate shout back, "I'm sorry," right before he sped off. And he left his vehicle's trunk wide open as he drove away.
I'm sorry, what does that even mean in that context? It's chilling.
I know. The residents, naturally, immediately called the authorities. Investigators arrived, they searched around, but initially, no one in the neighborhood had been reported missing. It wasn't until the following day, when they were shown this harrowing doorbell camera footage, that an official investigation truly began.
And this really highlights a critical challenge in these kinds of investigations, doesn't it? The sheer anonymity of an incident when the victim might not be local. Without a clear identity, tracking leads becomes incredibly difficult. The immediate fear is for her safety, of course, but also, the perpetrator might strike again if they're not caught.
Exactly. And that's the enduring enigma here. 2 years later, nothing. The identities of both the screaming woman and the man remain completely unknown. While no one from Jefferson Park itself disappeared, the woman, she could have been from anywhere. Other women were reported missing in the local area around that same time. But to date, none have been definitively linked to the woman in this video. Her whereabouts, her well-being, still a complete mystery. A shadow lingering over that street.
Just vanished into the night, essentially.
Pretty much. Okay, next, we move to a different kind of inexplicable event. Something that first surfaced on the Carlos Ruiz official TikTok channel. It went viral pretty quickly. The setup. A man is preparing for his training session in what looks like a completely empty gym. But he's suddenly interrupted by, a series of strange occurrences. First, exercise ropes. They begin to move by themselves. Now, your first thought, like many people's, might be, okay, wind, right? Could it be an AC unit? Or maybe an open window?
That's the natural, logical first step. You try to rationalize the unusual. Our brains are wired to find the most sort of mundane explanation first. But from an observational standpoint, that theory, it unravels really fast. You see the cloth beneath the ropes. It doesn't move at all, which it definitely would if there was a significant draft, right? And even more compelling, a heavy medicine ball also moves.
Yeah, and anyone who's handled one knows.
Exactly. For wind to move something with that much mass is, it's just impossible. The video almost seems to be playing with our attempts at logical explanation. It anticipates them.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Then the light in the doorway inexplicably turns off. Just clicks off. But here's where it gets genuinely unsettling. If you take a closer look at the very beginning of the clip, before any of this major stuff happens, there's a fleeting shadow, almost human-shaped.
Yeah.
It's discernible right at the edge of the frame, watching the man from that very doorway.
Oh, I missed that initially. So something was there before the phenomena started.
It seems so.
Yeah.
It's very easy to miss on a first watch. But the most disturbing moment, the one that truly cemented this video's viral status, is when the man is violently dragged by an invisible force. And viewers overwhelmingly agree on the authenticity of his movements. His leg is clearly pulled from under him. He slides across the floor without using any of his limbs to push or pull. And at one point, he even gets lifted slightly off the ground in a way that, well, many say is physically impossible to fake by yourself.
What's fascinating here is that combination of phenomena. When you have objects moving, lights turning off, and then a direct physical interaction like being dragged. It pushes beyond simple perceptual anomalies or misinterpretations. The human brain immediately categorizes this as either a deliberate, maybe complex hoax, or something truly beyond our current scientific understanding. The fact that he's alone and the physical reactions seem so genuine makes it incredibly difficult to just dismiss outright. It really challenges our understanding of reality, forcing us to consider explanations outside the conventional.
So we're left with that burning question. Was this staged? I mean, maybe incredibly well. Was it a ghost, poltergeist activity? Or is there another, more grounded explanation for this shocking event that we just can't see?
The ambiguity is part of what makes it so compelling and unsettling.
Right. Okay, our next story takes us to London, August of 2017. And this is a piece of CCTV footage that sends, undeniable shivers down your spine. The incident. A jogger on Putney Bridge is seen deliberately pushing a woman, pushing her directly into the path of an oncoming bus. It's a truly horrifying sight, just a snapshot of pure, unprovoked malevolence.
Just pushes her out of the blue.
Completely. Thankfully, the bus driver reacted with incredible speed. Miraculous, really. Swerved just in time to avoid crushing the woman. A matter of inches.
Thank goodness for that driver's awareness.
Absolutely. But the baffling motive, or lack thereof, this push was completely unmotivated. The woman had never seen the jogger before, hadn't bumped into him, hadn't exchanged a single word, nothing. And what makes it even more disturbing is the sort of calculated nature of the act. The video shows he ran past another man just moments before, then consciously veers towards this specific woman and pushes her instead. It suggests either a deliberate target or perhaps, a preference for an easier victim.
It brings up a crucial point when we examine these random acts of violence. From a psychological perspective, such seemingly unprovoked actions can stem from a whole spectrum of motivations. Could be profound mental health crises, like a complete break with reality, or specific, maybe irrational grievances, even a perverse form of thrill-seeking. But the sheer randomness from the victim's perspective, that's what makes it uniquely terrifying. It just strips away any sense of safety, reminds us that we can, at any moment, cross paths with someone operating entirely outside rational behavior.
You're absolutely right. It's that unpredictability that it could have been anyone that makes it so chilling. Despite an extensive investigation, they looked into over 50 suspects. The jogger's identity was never uncovered. Who was he? What on earth was his motivation? Was he unstable? Did he harbor some deep, irrational hatred for women? Was this something he planned for a long time, or just a sudden, terrifying impulse? Had he done anything like this before?
Oh.
Or since? We simply don't know. And that unknown factor is what truly lingers.
The not knowing is almost as bad as the act itself, in some ways.
It really is. This video serves as such a stark reminder of life's inherent fragility. How on any given day you could cross paths with an unhinged individual and your life could change or end in an instant. This woman was incredibly lucky. Things could have so easily ended very, very differently.
A fraction of a second difference in the driver's reaction. Yeah.
Now, let's turn to a video posted on the Egos subreddit. This was June 15th of this year. It's a home video with an intensely unsettling secret hiding in plain sight. The innocent scene. A young boy named Elijah, the only child in the house, is happily dancing to a song on the TV, just being a kid. But while dancing, Elijah notices something off camera. His visible reaction, it clearly shows he's caught off guard. He pauses his joyful movement.
Okay, so he reacts to something the camera didn't initially focus on.
Exactly. Now, for the revelation. The video was actually posted by a friend for Elijah's father, Tony N.
Yeah.
Tony N recorded this video 11 years ago when Elijah was about 3 years old, just, capturing his son dancing. It wasn't until 7 years ago, while rewatching it, that he noticed another figure in the background, a detail that had completely escaped his notice for years.
And this phenomenon of discovering details years later is actually quite common with home videos, isn't it? Our initial viewing often focuses on the main subject, like Elijah here, but with repeated viewings, especially if you're looking for something unusual, your perception shifts. The brain starts to process information it initially just filtered out as background noise. What's compelling here, though, isn't just the visual anomaly itself, but Elijah's authentic, startled reaction in the moment. That's a key piece of information that precedes the adult's later discovery.
Yes, absolutely. And what Tony discovered was deeply disturbing. A small, dark figure can be seen moving from right to left in the background. It seems to make eye contact with the dancing Elijah, who, as we said, pauses his dance, looks right at it, before the figure moves further left, kind of out of frame. And here's the crucial family context. At the time, it was just Elijah, his father, Tony N., and his grandmother living in the house. There was absolutely no one else present in that house when this video was recorded. Tony's certain of it.
So no other children, no visitors.
None. But the added horror doesn't stop there. This is where it gets even weirder. A commenter on Reddit pointed out a distinct giggling sound at the 14-second mark. A sound Tony N insists he'd never noticed before in all his years of watching the clip.
A giggle, like a child's giggle.
It sounds like it. And with the image slowed down and enhanced, at the exact moment the giggling is heard, this uncanny, shadowy figure can be seen with its head tilted, almost as if it's lifting a hand to cover its mouth as it laughs.
Wow. Okay, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's not just the visual then, it's the combined auditory detail, the giggle. And crucially, Elijah's authentic, childlike, startled reaction. All of that together makes this so genuinely unsettling and, frankly, incredibly hard to dismiss as just a trick of the light or pareidolia or imagination. It's the multi-sensory nature of the alleged event, coupled with the innocent witness's clear reaction that gives it a particular weight. It really begs the question, what was Elijah really seeing and hearing in that moment that led to such a clear response?
It certainly does, and it makes you wonder about the lingering presence. You know, Tony N still lives in that very same house today, with his girlfriend, a roommate, and Elijah, who's older now, obviously. It makes you wonder if they're still sharing space with this unseen presence, this eerie dance party.
Still in the house. That adds another layer of creepiness.
For sure. Okay, for our final story, we delve into a true crime. This one is as tragic as it is disturbing. It unfolded at Danvers High School near Boston, Massachusetts on October 2010, 2013. The victim was Colleen Ritzer, a well-liked 24-year-old math teacher, known for being kind, dedicated. The perpetrator was Philip Chisholm, a 14-year-old freshman. He was one of the students Colleen had asked to stay after school to work on algebra. Other students saw Colleen chatting with Philip, just making conversation, asking about his old hometown. But this conversation, for reasons that remain entirely unknown, inexplicably seemed to make Philip very upset. Colleen noticed and quickly changed the subject, sensing the shift in his mood.
Just a normal teacher-student interaction that suddenly goes wrong?
Terribly wrong. What happened next is a chilling sequence of events, tragically captured on the school surveillance footage. Colleen leaves the classroom, presumably heading for the bathroom. Seconds later, Philip steps out. He looks down the hallway, seems to hesitate for a moment, then he ducks back into the classroom. He reemerges almost immediately, but now his hood is up, he puts on gloves, and then, with this chilling resolve, he enters the women's bathroom after Colleen.
The gloves. The hood.
Exactly. It was there he brutally slashed Colleen's neck with a box cutter, and then raped her.
This immediate dramatic escalation from an upset student to such extreme violence is deeply perplexing. The footage showing his methodical actions, putting on the gloves, the hood, it suggests a chilling level of premeditation. Even in that very short span of time after whatever triggered him, it's not like a sudden, uncontrolled outburst. It looks like a series of calculated steps, which is often more disturbing to witness, I think. It reveals a capacity for depravity that's just incredibly difficult to reconcile with a 14-year-old.
It truly is. 11 minutes later, he's seen leaving the bathroom. He's carrying Colleen's black trousers. Philip pulls a wheelie bin, one of those large trash bins, into the bathroom. Then moments later, he drags it back out. Colleen's body was inside. He wheels the bin down the hall, out of the building, and into a nearby wooded area. There, he dumped Colleen's body and defiled her again with a tree branch, then half-heartedly covered her with leaves. After all that, he returned to the school with this chilling composure, apparently acting as if nothing had happened.
The sequence of actions, dragging the bin, the disposal, it's methodical, cold. It raises that important question that haunts criminal psychology. What causes such a sudden, violent shift? Going from a seemingly normal interaction to such extreme, methodical depravity. The idea of a trigger word, as Philip later claimed, is profoundly unsettling. It implies that a single, perhaps innocuous word could unleash such horrific violence, and the fact that he never revealed it, its unrevealed nature, makes it all the more terrifying because we may never know the true catalyst for this monstrous act. The lack of remorse or the ability to act like nothing happened afterwards is also a significant indicator of a deeply disturbed individual.
Yeah. Thanks in large part to the surveillance footage, Colleen's remains were quickly discovered. Investigators were able to piece together the horrific events quite rapidly. Philip's defense initially claimed he was hearing voices, but no one was really convinced. He later confessed, stating he was angered by a trigger word during his chat with Colleen, though, as you said, he never revealed what that word was. In the end, he was sentenced to a minimum of 40 years, eligible for parole after that. A life taken, a family shattered, all because of an inexplicable, monstrous act caught on camera.
A truly horrific end to a series of deeply unsettling stories.
From the sudden terror on a quiet street to the chilling, calculated violence within school walls and, well, the inexplicable presences in our homes. These stories are a stark reminder of the unsettling realities that can lurk just beneath the surface of the everyday. Each camera captured a moment, didn't it? A fragment of truth. But the deeper why behind these events, the true intentions or origins, often remain shrouded in enduring mystery.
Absolutely. These narratives really compel us to consider not just what we see, but what we might never fully understand about human nature, about the unknown, and the profound impact these moments have. They invite us to remain curious, yes, but also to observe critically, and perhaps just to be a little more aware of the intricate and sometimes terrifying layers of the world around us.
We hope these stories have given you something to ponder, maybe even something to check your own home videos for. If you found yourself caught up in these narratives, please consider giving a like. Share this with others who appreciate a good, chilling story. And definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docx, for more unsettling tales like these. Until next time, stay curious, and remember, the best things often happen in the dark.